to unmute yourself, Matt.
You are on mute.
You-
Oh! I'm not that thing.
I'm also not in the chat.
Yeah, you dropped out. I'll bring it back in. But anyway, everyone, this was not the perfect start, but let's do this again. Take 2. Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel, and I am here with my team. This is the first semifinal. Coming up, the first semifinal of Eurovision 2021. Tonight, in just a couple of hours, we will have our first 10 qualifiers, but unfortunately, that also means our 6 non-qualifiers. So we all will be able to talk about it. You can ask your questions, and my team and I, we will answer it. And first of all, I got Gabe here. Are you ready to do this?
I'm so excited. I've waited 2 very long years for this. And I just can't wait.
Yeah, me too. I know. Sean, your system's working again, huh? Well, you're mute now too. You're still on mute. Well, I'm moving on until you figured out your stitch. Roy, how you doing?
I am insanely excited. I've seen all of the rehearsals and like I've got very attached to a lot of these artists, songs, and staging. So I'll be sad no matter what. But I'll be so excited to have the first show in so long. Yes.
Okay. And James, good to see you again. It's been a few days.
Yeah, I am back from the desert, and boy, what a day to come back.
And this is the first time you will actually see the whole show, right? Because you didn't see any of the other dress rehearsals, correct?
Correct. No, I did not see the family show. I did not see the full run through. So, yeah, first time I've seen it in sequence with interval act.
All right. And of course, with me here locally is Boris. Boris, how would you describe the energy here right now? Just to feel in the press center.
There just seems to be a little bit of tension, actually.
Cannot hear you.
And there seems to be like.
No, you. I think you're mute.
I'm hearing. No, I'm not muted. I'm unmuted actually currently.
Oh, I cannot hear you in here. Can you hear Boris?
Yes.
Only
Through
through
your
your
microphone.
microphone, I think.
Yes, maybe I should move.
I think you hear from my microphone, maybe.
Yeah.
They hear from my microphone.
It's strange. Why is my microphone not working then?
I don't know. I mute mine.
Yeah, we hear nothing.
No, they cannot hear you. So your microphone's not working, Boris, either.
So my microphone is broken. Okay, then I'll speak very loudly. There's a lot of tension in the press center. Yeah, like a lot of people know that Eurovision is about to come on, and well, everyone is excited for it. I'm excited for it. I've been excited for this. I've not been this excited in like weeks or so. So like, I'm really looking forward to it.
I know we all. Shaw, can we hear you now? No, we cannot hear you. I don't know. Keep figuring it out. Do your thing and let us know. You may have to come back in, leave and come back, that kind of stuff, you know. So in the meantime, I want to also say hi to everyone in the chat. First of all, thank you already, Calvin. Here is some money to go buy yourself some microphones. Actually, just we have microphones. It's more about, you know, a guide how to use a microphone. That I think would be more helpful. Okay, Sean, talk again.
Can you hear me?
Yes!
Yes! I wasn't on mute. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, hello. It's good to be here finally, back again. Hopefully this is it now. But yeah, I don't know why it didn't work.
Okay. Well, that is okay. You know how systems are. But I want to also welcome everyone in the chat here. I know there are a lot of people, and I cannot say hi to everyone, but I see Brian Katarin says hello. Levander says hi. And I see, well, a hooray from Calvin, of course, and a lot of yes and happy. We're so glad to have you again. We have about less than an hour now before semifinal 1 kicks off. So we got to talk about it. Today is the day. There is a lot of anxiety, excitement, what other words you can throw in there, let us know. And of course, we want to use this opportunity to answer your questions at ESC United in the chat, of course, and we'd love to hear that. And I mean, we've been through this whole who is going to qualify, who is out, but we have to go for a little bit. But my first question is going to go around the room real quick. Who are you watching tonight? Like, and by that I mean probably they need to perform to stay in this game or anything of that sort. So let's start with you, Sean. Who are you watching tonight?
I think Romania is probably my first port of call because obviously she really struggled yesterday. I did catch the back end of the family show earlier and I thought she did sound better. But again, she lost it towards the end. So I am a little bit concerned about her performance tonight. I think just generally in terms of what I'm looking forward to, Ukraine, Malta. I want to see how she performs in a live show because I think she's really going to kill it tonight. And yeah, just that generally, I'm just happy to see it back. So yeah, it's been 2 years to the day since the final in Tel Aviv. So it's quite a nice circle to come back round.
Indeed. How about you, James? Who are you specifically watching tonight?
I always try root for the underdog wherever possible. Well, only if I like the underdog. And in this particular case, the one I'm rooting for is Vasil from North Macedonia. People have written him off time and again. Looks like he's picked up a bit of momentum from the past 2 weeks. But I'm be curious to see if that is enough to get him across the finish line.
Okay. Boris, who are you watching tonight?
Who I'm rooting for?
No, not rooting, watching.
Ireland and Belgium. I just restarted my stream, so.
Oh, okay. He says Ireland and Belgium, so he's trying to restarting this as well. That's fine. So I will. Roy, who are you watching today?
I'll definitely keep my eye on Ukraine because that performing is amazing. And I'll also take a little eye on Ireland to see if she will nail it tonight and if the staging will work on my TV as well. And yeah, I think I'm also looking forward to Lithuania because it's going to kick it all off and it's such a fun entry to start with. So those three are definitely the ones I'm looking after.
Okay, Gabe.
So I have two I'm looking out for. One big name and one potential underdog that I think has given themselves a chance. Firstly, the big name, Malta. I think Malta can still win this thing. People have sort of, I think, dropped her a little bit in favour of Italy and France. I still think she could do it, so I'm excited to see whether she brings it tonight like she did last night. Secondly, Ireland, like Boris said, I think the staging is great. It's an example of taking a whole package together and giving yourself a chance when maybe initially with all the different bits it wasn't quite there yet. They've really worked hard and I think it could pay off and I think they could be a surprise qualifier this evening.
All right. And the one I agree with everything you guys have been saying, but I am watching Australia because this is a biggest wild card. A lot of people don't think she's going to make it, but she is that moment like, are we counting her out just because she's coming in remotely? Is there still a chance? I am definitely want to see what's going to happen because even though I have her currently as a non-qualifier, it's not a certain non-qualifier. She could definitely surprise us. So Montaigne, I'm watching you. I mean, it's not like they're going to mess it up or anything, right? Because it's recorded, but I'm just watching what's happening, the reaction, because in case you don't know, we'll have this app thing where like the applause is based on how many people vote in the app for a song, not vote, but support a song. So I'm just really curious to see how that is all going to pan out. Thank you, Daniel Eli, by the way. Welcome to ESC United, being a supporter. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Carl Compton is saying, I'm so excited, guys. Love seeing all 6 of you. Got everything crossed for Norway and North Macedonia. Getting some North Macedonia love here today. So, is there any
shout out to Carl, by the way, because he sent us a very lovely message on Twitter earlier, and I just want to say thank you because it does mean a lot. Obviously, when people share the love for what we're doing here. So yeah, thank you, Carl.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That was very nice thing. And of course, just like yesterday, am I really like super bright right now? Because I got to do this. And I can do this because there's the sunset hitting me in my face.
Is it quite cold there, Matt?
Because of my scarf? No, I'm just trying to bring in.
Because you're wearing about 5 layers.
I am wearing a scarf and a jacket. Oh, see what you've done? Now I'm all tangled up. Oh, Sean, that's what you do to me. Anyway, I am just ready. Yeah, is that better? I'm not all scarfed up anymore. And now I already forgot my train of thought. So here are some of the questions that I want to throw at my team. The first question, are you going to record your result reaction? So we always record our reaction here, so don't you worry about that. Do you think Tick's proposal to Efendi will happen before the results or revealed or are revealed or after? What do you think, Gabe?
I'm still not sure how I feel about this. Because initially I thought it was just Tick's being weird. Then I saw that Efendi is clearly in on the joke as well, because she did like her response song to him and like sent him a letter and stuff like this. The thing is that there's pictures of them just like chilling out together in like the backstage. I think that this is something like, I think they probably got to know each other before the contest and are like sort of friends already and decided to have a bit of fun and like throw a bit of a stunt. To sort of keep, and so that's what I think is going on. Because of that, and because I think they're actually just friends having a joke with each other, I find it quite sweet how, like, you know, when she was performing yesterday and Tix was standing up like, yeah, and then they panned to him after the performance. I thought that was really funny.
So, first of all, Tim Stormans is asking, how was the family show? Because I wanted to talk about that just real quick. I assume nobody here besides Boris and I have seen it, right? No, nobody watched it.
I saw the very end, but not enough.
Yeah, then I'm gonna ask Boris that question. Can you give us a quick rundown or like your thoughts on the actual show? What do you think, Boris? Jesus.
I'm just here sitting popcorn. I'm still not in the chat, by the way.
Okay, can you guys hear him? Because I still cannot. You're on mute, by the way, again.
Very faint.
You're in.
No, I'm not.
You guys can see Boris, right?
Yeah.
I can see myself.
Everyone can see you.
Oh, not anymore.
Oh, he's gone.
No, he turned himself off again. He's having some technical difficulties. So, then I'll just answer the question. God, this light is killing me. It was actually a fairly smooth show. There were no major hiccups. Now, there were some hiccups. So the show was, all the 16 acts, of course, performed, and there was no one that really messed up. I think, you know, we were always talking about Roxen's vocals. She was one of her better performances. Of course, it didn't really matter tonight, or like at least at that moment, because, you know, no votes were cast. But I feel like she's slowly getting into her like comfort zone. The question is, it's too little too late? Hopefully not. Tonight, maybe she can bring it again. So I'm not counting her out just yet. Other than that, everyone sounded good. Most people have given a good amount of energy even during that show. Not everyone had like complete stage makeup on, but it sounded good. There was only one minor hiccup, and that was between Germany and the Netherlands. Now, granted, they're not performing tonight, but we're going to get these short interviews with the artists, and then we're going to see like a 1-minute snippet from yesterday's performance. And there was a delay, so they had to do like a little like chit chat and trying to kill some dead airtime. That was the only thing that happened today. But other than that, it was a fairly smooth show. So I was quite impressed. So nothing that you really missed that was of major importance. So don't you worry. There were a good amount of people in the arena. I think 3,500. So yeah, it was definitely a fun thing. So let's see. Again, any other questions at ESC United while I'm leaning back? This is getting worse and worse. I think it is PR, what's going on between Tix and Efendi to be mentioned. Absolutely. They're certainly playing that up. Why there are a geo-block for ESC YouTube live streams in ESC live streams in the UK and in Australia. I cannot read all that. AUUS or Australia, US, Lithuania, and Latvia. And what are your thoughts about some of the worst listed countries? Do you know, guys, do you know anything about these geo-blocked stuff?
A bit.
I mean, it's just the general, every year there's, you know, copyright issues with the EBU and certain countries. I'm guessing the UK is probably on the list because of Brexit now. So yeah, it's what can you do really? It's all about copyright. It's all about what rights people have on YouTube. You know, certain countries they don't have access to everything, so it could just be a case of that. If you know, I don't know if you can get around it with VPN. I don't know if I'd even condone that, but it is what it is. It's one of them things. To say with the US especially, it's a big thing. So,
Yeah.
Well, in the US, you can watch it on Peacock, which is an NBC app.
I mean,
Not
in the
just-
UK, you can watch it on BBC anyway. So, and obviously
That's
in
why it's
national
blocked.
broadcasters, it just seems crazy.
The broadcasting conditions they have, the contract or whatever that they've signed, the deal they've struck with the broadcasters in those territories, will presumably contain some kind of exclusivity arrangement, whereby, so for UK Eurovision fans, it means they must watch it via BBC outlets rather than going directly. It'll just be that these arrangements exist in some countries and they don't exist in others. I think.
Yes. Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, don't get me started with the US anyway. So my question to you, well, this question is not for James because he's in the US. I'll take this only for Roy because Gabe and Sean, you're in the UK. Roy, are you going to vote tonight?
I am definitely going to vote tonight, yeah.
Are you willing to share or no?
I can share, yeah. I usually vote for like 3 countries and I do a spread of 5-3-1. And I usually kind of vote a bit tactically in a way. And I'm going to vote for North Macedonia, for Croatia, and I'll spare a vote for Ireland.
Okay, so a little bit.
Don't forget Georgia as well.
Yeah, they're not in the semi-final.
It doesn't matter. You can still vote for them.
Yeah.
You know how it works with Georgia and Eurovision. They don't have to qualify to win.
No, absolutely not. And again, people in the chat at ESC United. We also check. By the way, we are also on Twitch. If you want to follow us there, Gabe is helping me setting up this channel a little bit better. And I forgot already to move my camera. And let me bring Boris in one more time and see if it works this time. Boris, can you hear us? I mean, can you hear us? Can you talk?
Of course I can hear you.
I'm right next to you. But can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear my microphone? That's the most important thing. Okay, good. It was literally just the internet being shit here. Okay, that's good to know.
All right. And curse word number 1. Thank you, Boris.
It does sound like you're calling in from Eurovision 1970, but other than that, it's okay.
Yeah, that is true. But that, that's how it goes. First of all, thank you, Sean, for your super chat. If one can tolerate Swedish language, SVT Play has a stream with no restrictions. I recommend that as a default. So yeah, those who have like some geo-block issues, Sweden has that. That would be a pretty good. I know they have in Germany have it as well.
Iceland
as well. I mean, VPN is always the best option in my view, but if you don't have it or you don't know how to use it, by all means, use that.
Surely the German one's geo-blocked because they're like one of the strictest countries in Europe.
They weren't though. My friends have been using it for years, unless I change it this year. Maybe, but it has never been an issue in the past. But of course, now you may have jinxed it. So, do you think so? Shannon 0893 asks, who do you think could be the biggest surprise non-qualifier tonight? And we're going to do a quick round, so not long explanations, but who do you think could be the shock non-qualifier tonight? James.
I maintained this at the beginning of these rehearsals, and I maintain it now. I think Azerbaijan is not going to make it.
Okay, so James thinks Azerbaijan will not make it. Roy.
In terms of shock, I would think Sweden might be in trouble.
Oh, 1 Azerbaijan, 1 Sweden. Sean.
I mean, I was going to say Sweden, but I don't know if it was a shock this year because I feel like a lot of people are feeling
that would be a shock. Are you kidding?
It would be a massive shock.
Huge
shock.
But other than that, to throw a different name out there, the way I'm feeling now, in my predictions, I've taken Romania out and I've put Ireland in.
Okay, so
That's
Romania out according
today.
to
Yeah.
Okay. Boris, your shock non-qualifier.
I mean, agree with all three countries mentioned so far that there would be shock qualifiers, but I think I'll just agree with Sean. I think Romania would be a very shocking non-qualifier because many people have it on their radar, and I don't really have it on my radar anymore.
Okay, so 2 Romanias. Gabe?
I was going to say Romania, but I think in general, we may see something really, really weird happen. You know, we could get something that isn't on our radar to NQ. I mean, I remember, Sean, I think it was yesterday, we went through those 7 countries that we thought were all fine, or something in that fact. I think easily you could see something which is considered completely safe to lose out by a point because they're spread so evenly. I think we could end up with, say, like 3rd through 15th in the semi, even being over a tiny, tiny little spread. And when things like that happen, all it takes is one country particularly liking it, one entry and giving it like 20 points in total, and suddenly it catapults someone right over the top, and you could end up with somebody losing out on that basis. So I think, in general, I would look for one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen potentially tonight. I don't know if somebody's getting hurt.
Great answer, but you need to give me one.
Okay, well, if I'm not going to say Romania, I'll go with James and say Azerbaijan.
So 2. Oh, well, that's interesting because I would have picked Sweden. We have 2 Swedens, 2 Azerbaijans, 2 Romania. I didn't pick Romania because honestly, I no longer consider them a shock non-qualifier at this point. Even looking at the betting odds, they're like in 12th place now, or 11th. I forgot. But certainly, I would not longer consider them at this point a shock. More like almost like yeah. So, but I think Sweden is potentially in trouble. But again, that is just a hunch. Now,
could I just put it out there? Sorry, just back on the back of what Gabe said.
Go ahead.
It is an interesting point because obviously we see it from one perspective, but there could be people watching at home might just not get something. I could see, just to throw a couple of names out there, Russia. People just might not click with Russia for whatever reason. For example, Croatia could be another one that just falls by the wayside for a similar reason. It just doesn't work on the night for whatever reason. There's a couple of candidates there, really. I still see the both of them going through, but it's the stranger things have happened.
That is
I think
true.
we could. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we could lose Croatia and Israel tonight, I think, as well. Croatia, I like it, and I like it more the more I see it. But it's one of these ones that I'm just worried people won't connect with it or find that the instrumentation is just a little bit sparse or something like that. In general, I have fear. I have lots of fear because I think there's 15 songs out of 16 could conceivably qualify, and if they qualified, I'd go, yeah, well, I'm not surprised that happened. And because of that, that means we're losing 5, which in any other year, I'd probably say, oh, well, these will qualify.
Yes. No, I totally hear what you're saying. And then let's do the other round. And who is the surprise qualifier that people sleeping on? Let's start with you, Sean. Let me bring yours.
Well, just on that, what is there? Is there anything that we would look at and go? I mean, obviously, I think that the one that Gabe was probably referring to is Slovenia. If Slovenia qualify, I'll be very shocked. I'll be honest. Sorry if you're Slovenian and you're watching this, but I just don't see it. North Macedonia, I think, could be a surprise, but I can see a universe.
You're supposed to pick one.
Well, I'll go with North Macedonia. Then, I can see it. I can see a universe where they do make it sneak through and maybe like 9th or 10th. Okay.
To make it easier, I will add to Sean's. I can see North Macedonia actually as a qualifier. I think too many people are sleeping on it, so I'll go with that one as well. Gabe.
Now I'm going to sound really boring because I'm also picking North Macedonia.
Oh, really? That's fine.
Because it's so unfancied. It has like the betting odds give it something like give Vasil something like a 10% chance of qualifying. But I think it's a really impressive performance, and he smashed it last night, and I cried a little bit. And if he does the same again, I think it fully could. I think it fully could qualify. So I hope it happens. I'll be so happy if he qualifies. He deserves it.
James.
All right, so I'm going to take your question, the part of the question that says everyone's sleeping on. Now, no one's expecting North Macedonia to qualify, but everyone's talking about them as a shot potential. The one I think that people are sleeping on is Belgium. I think they'll do well in the juries, and I think there's a lot of people who remember the 90s and Hooverphonic being the soundtrack to their sexual shenanigans. And I think that sort of nostalgia, I think they can squeak through.
I think the thing with that is that I think a lot of us think that Belgium are going to qualify. So that might be why it's not in the conversation.
Not anymore.
I personally feel that they are.
As of today, they were like in 12th place or something like that until today, when they're finally actually in the betting odds top 10. So,
betting odds,
so technically,
betting odds, guys, come on.
I'm
just
saying,
people throwing money on stuff. Come on.
I know it's not a big deal, Roy.
Yeah.
My answer is gonna be easy, but like for me, North Macedonia.
You cannot say Georgia. You cannot say Georgia. Just
okay.
No.
North Macedonia was never really on my radar, and I wasn't massively into the song. Like I could appreciate it for its craftsmanship, but with his performance, it just makes sense. It is just very emotional. It's just very well done, and it will have a lot of jury appeal. So definitely North Macedonia is my one pick.
Boris.
Okay, I think the actual shock qualifier hasn't been mentioned. It's Australia. I think people are just completely sleeping on it because she's not physically present, and I get that, but that's literally the only argument that I can muster against Technicolour, really. So I think the real shock qualifier will be whether Australia can actually make it or not, despite not being physically present in Rotterdam. So they're my choice. I think there are plenty of shock qualifiers that are also physically present in Rotterdam, but she's the biggest one, I think.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good choice because I actually said that's the one to look out for today as well. So I guess I kind of agree with that. Thanks, all. First of all, Ruud van Leunhout. First of all, apologies for butchering your name, but still appreciate your hard work. He says, let's enjoy a good show. Go, 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 indeed. Is that an insinuation? You go, 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 or is it just really just go, go, go? Any hope for Slovenia? Maybe with the juries. What do you think, James?
Same answer, maybe with the juries. I did sort of like the song going into it, but I'm not particularly convinced by the staging of it. So, yeah, the juries might pull it through, but I don't see too much out there in terms of potential, not telemarket, televote.
Televote. How about you, SHUM?
I think even if Slovenia say, well, you know, going to be top 5 with the juries, I just can't see them pulling the televote support. We spoke about North Macedonia elevating their staging, and I don't feel Slovenia did that with theirs, and in the position they're in and with the song they've got, they really needed to do that. So I just don't see it standing out for people.
Yeah. Now, this is a tough question by Angie P, but I'll put it out there anyway. Which country more likely to be announced first and last, do you think? So we don't even know who's going to qualify, but just making some assumption.
Can I answer that?
Boris may raise his hand, and then you can go second.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Boris, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Okay, that's not necessarily a thought that is relevant to answering the question, but if they announce Belgium again, I'm throttling someone. For the 3rd time in a row, seriously, no thanks.
Well, Iceland would like to have the title.
I would like us to be announced first for once. That would be really nice.
Would you rather be not announced at all? So I'd rather take 10. Okay, no, I hear you. Go ahead, Sean. What are your thoughts?
So if I think I know what the EBU are doing and the songs that I think are going to qualify, they're going to put Norway first. They're going to put Azerbaijan last, and it's going to be a nice big old love story. Everyone's going to be happy. I'm going to throw up in my mouth, and then that's going to be the end. That's how it's going to go. You know, they're prefacing it this afternoon with that shitty little video that they put out that made me feel sick. That's just what I think is going to happen. So yeah.
All right. Next question from Olivia. And any questions again at ESC United in the chat? Does Ireland have hope to qualify? Gabe, what do you think? You saw it yesterday for the first time?
Yes, that performance has elevated. Lesley has stepped it up a notch. Staging is really, really clever and intricate and memorable. It's totally unique as well, like in the whole contest. it feels a bit like a music video. In fact, in general, I think that's the theme this year, as people have tried to step around the threat of having no crowd. But it's this really brilliant, like intricate, close staging, where you'll. I mean, I won't give too many spoilers because you'll see it very soon. And then at the end, it sort of zooms away from it, and you see that it was all done in this tiny little space on stage, and it's just so clever. And I had this big grin on my face all the way through it. So I think Ireland is going to qualify tonight. I'm going to put my neck on the line and say it now that they're going to do it.
Okay, and Roy, same question to you, because you initially in your prediction said Ireland, no, but I'm not sure if regret is the right word, but you questioned your decision. Where are you standing right now?
Yeah, it's so tight around like the borderline kind of areas, but I am definitely cheering for Ireland, and they can definitely pull it off. It's a very cool staging concept and a really cool song as well that goes along with it. It's just that my doubts are whether it will click with the audience or not, and that's why initially I didn't put it through. It was like my 11th, 12th, something like that. So it's going to be really tight, and Ireland can definitely make it, though.
Yes, they're certainly in the running. Roy, explain yourself, please. Why are you not voting for Ukraine today?
Well, I think Ukraine is going to fly through. Like, I think they might even win the semifinals. So if I vote for them, it would be a waste in a way. Like, I would rather vote for some borderlines that could use my votes a bit better tonight.
James, I hear like a sound coming from you.
I would not be surprised if in years past people have not voted for things that they thought were sure, and that act ended up bombing, and the so-called tactical one ended up sliding through in favor of the preferred one.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I know it's a risky strategy, but it is a strategy, and it may pay off. Gabe, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say this has actually triggered sort of a brainwave, which is that, you know, we love Ukraine. I think it's great, and I really, really want it to qualify. It's the sort of entry that people might not get, and we should be prepared for that eventuality. It could flop. I think it has an equal chance of winning the semi-final as it does not qualifying. I just don't know how people are going to respond to it. It could, but I think it's going to be quite a strong feeling one way or the other. It's about what sort of split that is. If there are enough people that love it, I think it'll fly through. Failing that, I think you could see it crash. And I don't want to see the Eurofandom meltdown if it crashes out. I will be included in that meltdown, as I imagine most of us will be.
And blame Roy.
But we blame Roy. So thanks. So you're going to come on to be like, thanks, Roy.
Mute yourself, please.
No, Matt, you're muted.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to Boris real quick.
There we go.
We have about 30 minutes left before the show starts, so let's get some more questions in. At ES United in the chat, let us know. Wilco is asking, how is the atmosphere within Ahoy? Are the 3,500 spectators enough to give a true Eurovision vibe? Boris, you've been here kind of like, you've seen all of the shows. What are your thoughts? Do you feel like the feeling's coming over well? I think you can hear me. Okay. So I'm giving it then back to Sean. How did you feel about it?
I think what I'd like to point to yesterday was in the jury show, when the Roop came on stage and they performed, and obviously they finished, and there was just an almighty roar from the arena, and it was such a release. And I think that you wouldn't know. I mean, generally at Eurovision it's about 10,000 anyway, so it's not like it's that much of a reduction. But you wouldn't feel like it was an empty arena at all. You can hear the crowd, and it's quite a powerful effect. So yeah, certain songs were definitely elevated by having the audience there, and we're so thankful for it.
All right, Queen B is asking, and we're trying to be fair. So let's see. We're going to do a rant around the room. What do you think about Croatia qualifying or not? Real quick thoughts. Not we don't have that much time. Roy, you think yes or no, Croatia?
It's not 100% certain, but I would say yes.
A yes for now.
Yes for now.
From Roy. And Gabe.
It's in this group that might not. I'm going to say no by a whisker, and I'm going to be gutted about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, Sean.
I'm going to say yes by a whisker, and I'm going to be glad about it.
Okay, James.
Just for balance.
I'm going to say yes by a whisker and a shake of a cat's tail.
So, nobody's like sure, but people are mostly like on the confident side here. I'd ask Boris is frozen again, so I'm going to ask him over my thing. Yes or no, Croatia?
Yes, definitely. I think she's a lock.
So. Boris is a little bit more common. He says she is a lock, according to Boris. I am more with the rest of the team. I think she will go through, but also it's a tough competition there. Let's see. VXCBSD is asking, what would happen if someone messed up their performance due to nerves during the live show? I mean, Sean?
It happens, you know. There's been a couple of moments over the years where people have gone out of time with the music, or they've just lost it completely. It's, you know, it happens. It's, God, you're going out there and performing for however many millions on a TV show, and no matter how experienced you are as a performer, you're always going to be nervous about that. So, yeah, especially for, like, you know, the younger and experienced artists, I think we saw it yesterday with the jury show. Obviously, Roxen and is it Katerina from Ukraine had the same issue, but obviously Katerina's a lot more experienced as a singer, and she could rescue the situation, whereas Roxen didn't quite know how.
Yeah.
So I think that always comes into play as well. But yeah, I think it could happen. It is possible that it happens. It's happened surprisingly few times, considering how big a contest this is, though.
Yeah, but honestly, if there are technical issues, then they get to go again. But if it's just their nerves, then it's just what it is. They don't get a second run through just because they messed it up on their own.
Yeah.
That's why you want to make sure you bring talent to Eurovision who can deal with the pressure.
And that's why they rehearse, so that you know, they've got to have the performances on lock. They've got to know where they've got to be and when to perform, basically.
Yes.
So that when they go out there tonight, all they've got to do is just make sure they get through that routine. Simple as that.
All right. So, and forgive me. Oh, here it is. Stefanos Dem is asking, can Cyprus win this semi? Can they actually win, like combine juries and televotes? Could they end up on top? Do you think the song is strong enough to accomplish that? What do you think, Gabe?
Yes, I think so. I think the package is strong enough to do it. Do I think it's going to be the winner of the semi? No, but it has a chance. I think it'll come second behind either Malta or Ukraine.
All right. James, do you think Cyprus? Yeah, Cyprus, can they win the semi?
I will. I agree with Gabe in the sense they have a chance. I'll probably put an extra shake of the cat's tail in saying that Malta will be above it. So, if I would say Cyprus is more than likely the number 2, but less likely number 1.
Yeah, I echo what was said before we even saw the rehearsals. I said Cyprus will probably be in the top 3. People sleeping on that one. I mean, not that most people thought it's going to qualify, but some people think it was strong enough to get into the top 3. I always thought that the song had everything it takes to get to the top 3, and now I feel even stronger than before. Is there a chance? Probably, but I smell a top 3 for Cyprus at a bare minimum here. Absolutely. And I saw a super chat here from Zach Marks WA99. Good luck, guys. Sean, is the ESC United drinking game happening? I don't think we do. We never created the bingo card, right? What's your catchphrase, Sean?
It depends if Matt wants me on. What? That's a nice shot. Yeah.
Drink up.
It depends on whether Matt wants me at the. It depends if he wants me at the post show. Whether I do that or not, I guess. So.
No, you have to survive. Yeah.
We don't want to repeat of Kiev now, do we? And Zach will know what I'm on about here.
Yes, Zach was there.
Zach
he
will
knows
know exactly what I'm on about.
In case you're looking for context, Kiev was the only press center in like 8 or 9 years at least that had sold alcohol in the press center. So beer, right? Was the only thing that sold?
Very
beer,
cheap
right?
alcohol.
Yeah. Let me see here. Next question. And I scrolled past it. Stop talking, guys. I can't go too fast. Probably a stupid question, but are you going to stream during the whole semi? No. Watch the show. We will not stream during the show. We want to enjoy it as well because I bought my chips. I brought my popcorn. And since I cannot buy this in America for the most part, I bought Kinder Chocolate. Now, gosh, I ate half of it already, I think. So
Cost plus world market.
Yeah, well, at world market, yes, but the only place, and it's not always conveniently located. So I don't want to drive 30 minutes for just a little bit of chocolate. But
and that wouldn't be seen dead in Walmart, obviously.
Yeah, mostly that would see me dead, actually. Next question. I know that we're gonna have that, but I meant to say we will be back after the show. There is already a Melanie joined. Oh, let me bring him in. Okay, we have like 5 minutes left, but let's bring in him real quick. What was I gonna say? We're gonna have our post show. So as soon as the 10 qualifiers are known, that is when we'll be live again. So, and then we gotta all support each other and celebrate depending on the outcome. It doesn't matter what the outcome is, we will be devastated anyway. So where are Boris and Melanie? So Boris obviously is right here, and Melanie will join us for the post show. So she is social mediaing right now, and she'll be joining us in just a little while. So don't you worry. And did we leave off anything with you, Boris, when we were talking? I think
I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we're talking right now. So we're, with all the technical stuff that's going on, there's like 15 things happening at the same time. Matt, you are not allowed to bring alcohol, right? No, we're not even allowed to bring any liquids over, 6 ounces? I don't know what the measurement is here, but I don't bring any liquid. So even just a little bit of water left in your water thing, they're like...
Can I, just on that point, you've just reminded me, and I just wanted to point this out.
Since you're a teetotaler.
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah. I just wanted to point this out because you've just reminded me that the really lax security in Kiev, because I remember like about 20 minutes walk away from the exhibition center in Kiev, there was McDonald's, there was Pizza Hut, there was all kinds of things, and you would literally just be able to bring the pizza through and it would go through the airport security and they would be fine with it, wouldn't even open the box, nothing. If you had like big bottles of drink or whatever in your bag, if it was under your laptop or whatever, they didn't check. So yeah, not a little bit concerning given where we were, and considering the army were outside in Kiev, but the pizza was okay. But yeah, we didn't mind so much because it was nice having pizza and beer at Eurovision.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was the case universally. So when I went to the grand final, they told us all to arrive hours and hours before, which we did, and the security was slightly better at the fan entrances. Or at least at first, I was near the front of the queue. I think they were trying to keep security good. But I think it got worse as the day went on. They were like, oh God, there's loads of people here, just go.
It's like this meme that you have online on Twitter, the security guy who's just like not even touching the people.
Yeah.
He's just like doing this.
Just waving his hands around, yeah.
Yes. It wasn't quite that bad, to be fair. I'm just being a little silly. Leon is asking, who are you going to be sad for not qualifying? Obviously, the politically correct answer is all of them, of course. But let's just rephrase it and say, who are you would be especially devastated or sad not seeing qualify and why? Quick round. Boris, who and why?
For me, I think other than Belgium, it would be Ireland. Yeah.
And how about you, James?
Yeah, I would say that one because she is my most improved artist from before rehearsals to now. The staging really does add a lot to the song, and they perfected the stage. So yeah, that would be it would be sad to see her go after putting in so much improvement.
Yeah, I can understand that. Roy?
I mean, if in the unlikely event Ukraine non-qualifies, I will be absolutely devastated. But it's very unlikely. But
yeah,
that would be my pick, I guess.
That's fair. Gabe?
I mean, I'd be. Oh God, how do I pick one? Ireland. Yeah, I'm going to go for Ireland.
Ireland.
I just think when you see a performer improve so much, it hurts when you see that work not go to waste, but that work not quite get the level of recognition that she would need for it to make the final. I just hope it comes. I hope the level of care and like love that has gone into that performance comes across on screen tonight, and that people connect with it and understand it. So I'd be so sad to lose it.
Yeah. And Sean?
I'm going to say Romania just because I feel like it'll absolutely devastate Roxen, and I'm not ready to see that. I'm going to throw another answer out there just to be devil's advocate. I don't think there's any universe where this would happen. But in the unlikely event that Malta were to somehow not make it through to the final, Destiny's Face, I think, would be an absolute picture. But I don't see that happening in a million years. I think Malta's the safest lock out there, but I just... it would be interesting to see what her reaction would be. But I think, out of the realistic 50-50s, I think it would devastate Roxen, and that's what I'm concerned about.
And I will say, actually, Norway for me, because I love Tix, and he's kind of like it's somewhat... not likely, but more likely than not qualifier. So being all so excited and such a sweet guy, it would be devastating. I would be devastated if he's not going to make it. So I don't even want to think about it because I'm still a little worried about him. But I'm still have my fingers and toes crossed. So, but I hear what you guys saying as well. Now this is a tough question, and this is not about what we personally like, but what we predict. Chris is asking, who do you think is finishing 16th in the semi? Who is the potential last placer? Okay, nobody wants to go first, I'm sure, but I'm going to pick you, Roy.
No, why me? I think the potential last place is Slovenia.
Slovenia for you. Okay. How about you, James?
For once in my life, I'm going to agree with Roy on this one. Mostly because I think there's a good... there's going to be a bit of a beating up with the jury. Sean alluded to this earlier with North Macedonia. I think all the people who kind of go in a classical direction will swoop to North Macedonia, and that'll rob Slovenia of a lot of the jury points they need.
Yeah, that would be my fear as well. I'm worried. My vibe is telling me that Slovenia may be potentially a last placer if North Macedonia sucks some of that energy and that vote away from her. That is my biggest concern. Gabe?
I'm going to agree with the Slovenia call here, I think. I mean, I said at the start there were 15 out of 16 songs that I could see qualifying. I can't see a route for Slovenia. It's the only one that I just can't see any way through. On that basis, I think it's going to fall behind the rest of the pack here and come last. Okay. And it's not a slight against her because she's a good singer and it's a decent song, but just it's not the right semi for a song like that to qualify from.
Yeah. Sean?
The only problem I have with saying Slovenia is that I know that North Macedonia and Croatia are in the semi-final. So automatically, I'm not saying it's going to be like 12s, but automatically there's two countries there that feel likely to vote for Slovenia, which could be the difference. Whereas, just to throw another...
Oh man, the suspense.
His opinion was too controversial.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
Did you hear the name?
No. That's the statement I cut off.
No. So I was going to say Australia, just to throw another name out there. I feel like it. I don't know how likely it is, but I just think that it may just be picked by Slovenia just by the pure fact that they have got two countries that are likely to vote for them. And you look at Australia and you think maybe Sweden could be a sort of regular voter for them, but I don't. I'm not sure who else.
How about you, Boris?
That's just my thought on that.
That's okay. Boris, who do you think is a potential last placer?
I have no bloody clue. To me, I suppose, I would normally say North Macedonia, but again, same argument as Sean. If Slovenia and Croatia are there, then they're probably getting some points. My gut feeling says Romania. Even then, I'm like, yeah, but I can also see Romania getting a lot of votes. It's really difficult. I'm just going to go with Romania, but I know it's not true. It's going to be proven true.
Boris speechless, not having an answer. Mark your calendar, because that doesn't happen very often. And remind me, I see some people asking questions, but you need to do at ESC United so we can see them, because there's a lot going on. So let's see what Carl Compton is saying. Imagine if Norway and Azerbaijan are left for the final announcement and they put their pictures side by side for the last qualifier. I don't think they would do that. That seems a little out of place. They do sometimes these shock moments, but that seems a little much. I don't think they would do a split screen just to mess with the acts. That's what they're just, maybe they do like first Azerbaijan, then Norway, but they're not going to split screen or anything like that.
Although it'd be funny if it came down and it was the last spot and neither of them had qualified. They showed them two, and then someone else entirely qualified instead. It was neither of them. That would be funny.
Paul Nordal is asking, one of our forum members at escunited.com forum, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you right now? Sean?
Probably about a 2, to be honest with you. I'm calm. I'm just excited. Yeah.
It'll just go up maybe a little later.
You got to remember, I'm British, so the semi-finals are different to what it is to a lot of other people, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to see it. It's, I can't vote in the semi-final, so whatever it is, whatever will be, will be.
Boris, where are you at from 1 to 10?
I'm not nervous at all. I suppose it's just a 1 for me. I mean, I'm just very excited that Eurovision is on again. I'm not really worried about who's going to qualify or who's not going to qualify.
How about you, James?
I'm at about a 5, but mostly because I'm still waiting for the effects of my coffee to wear off.
Oh. Roy?
I would say I'm at like a 4-ish. Like, I am very excited that it's going to start, but I'm also really nervous. Like, I've seen all of these rehearsals and I've like grown to like so many of them. So I'll surely be devastated with whoever non-qualifies. So I'm a bit nervous for that, but it's still kind of controlled.
Gabe, where are you at?
Like a 12.
What he said, I'm with him on that. I was going to say like a 7.5 right now. And the show hasn't even started yet. So I know I'm always nervous for several reasons. Of course, I'm rooting for all of them, and I feel bad for them. I know the attacks of people when my predictions are incorrect, that they're going to be like, told you so, you hate my country. It always ends up in that as well. So there's so many factors. I'm always so nervous. And it's just, my heart is beating. I mean, it's okay right now. I'm okay. I'm cool, calm, and collected. But as soon as like the recaps started, that's when I'm just like, I can't breathe. So it is definitely where we're at. So we have a few more minutes left. So this is your last moment to shoot some questions our way at ESC United in the chat. Adam James Jurgen is asking, Matt, do a round room question again. Do you think Israel will qualify? And do you think the current situation in Israel will affect the chances? We're not going to go into the political aspect of things because it's just not the platform here right now. So we prefer just to look at the songs and what's going, the chances are based on that merit. What do you think, Sean?
I have Israel as a non-qualifier. The issue with Israel is that Croatia is very close to it, and it's like 2 songs before, and they've got very similar performances, but Croatia edges it for me. I think Israel will do better on the juries. I think Israel will struggle on the televote, particularly this year. That's just my personal feeling about it. But I don't see Israel qualifying. I don't think it'll be like, I think it'll be like 12th, 13th maybe. Yeah. But I just don't see it going through.
Gabe, what do you think?
The question was about Israel, right? Sorry, I was moderating. So I don't think it's going to happen, I'm afraid. I don't think it's, and I'm not thinking about politics or anything like that. I'm just thinking that it's not strong enough, unfortunately. And it's a bit disjointed, and I said this yesterday, the whistle notes feel a bit like oh, look what I can do. Please give me some extra votes. It doesn't work in this context for me. I like the performance and I like the song. I think she's a really talented singer. I just wonder whether some of the direction that she's gotten has been a little off here. I think they've just misjudged it ever so slightly.
Boris, what do you think?
Well, I'm fairly certain 8 of my qualifiers, and then I have Ireland in there still because I absolutely want them to qualify, and I'm going to just make sure they qualify to the sheer force of willpower. And then the final slot between Israel and Belgium for me. And before the jury show, I had Belgium out and Israel in, and after I saw Hooverphonic performance, I've actually switched them for me. So right now, I actually don't think Israel are going to qualify anymore. But it's going to be very close. I think they're finishing 11th or 12th at the worst.
Man, so 3 no at this point. James, what do you think?
I'm going to be a contrarian on this one. I'm going to say yes, but sort of the slight opposite of the odds here. So you guys are saying 53% chance they won't qualify. I'll say 53% they will. It'll be slight. Gabe alluded to one of the problems. It's a kitchen sink entry in that they threw everything at it, and it'll be too busy for some people. But I can see enough people liking it that it just might eke through.
Okay. Roy.
Yeah, I don't want to be a downer here, but like when I watched, like before yesterday's show, I would have said it will probably qualify. But after seeing it yesterday, it just was kind of forgotten in the recap, and I just kind of forgot about the entire song a lot. So I am not very super like confident they will make it. So I would also incline to say no, but it will be close.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as most of you. As of right now, I have Cyprus as a non-qualifier. Again, has nothing to do with my personal taste. It's
Cyprus?
all about
You mean
Cyprus. Sorry, Israel. Somebody said Cyprus in the chat, so my brain got stuck on Cyprus. Cyprus, yeah, that's a different story. Israel will not go through. It's just kind of is a nice song, but I feel that more remarkable upbeat songs, and the staging also is being overshadowed by other performances, and I just feel it's not coming together for Israel in the feeling that I'm having, and that would be so sad because Dan is such a talented singer, and last year if she should have had Fika Libi, it would have been like mind-blowingly good, but this year it feels like things are just not coming together, and I'm very, very, very saddened by it. So we are now only 5 minutes away. We got to go, but remember, we will be live again. The link is up already. Just real quick, everyone, just a final thought on tonight's show. What are you looking forward to? Any thoughts, Boris?
I'm looking forward to it all. Of course, I've seen it already 3 times, but like it's going to be excited to actually see what the others are also doing. So I hope everyone is fine. I hope Lesley nails her vocals, and I hope everyone is really good. So I'm excited for the whole thing.
That's wonderful to hear. Gabe, your final thoughts.
I'm just excited because after all this time, we made it. Eurovision is back. 2 long years are finally over. That's what I'm excited about. I'm just excited to see it again, to hear the after so long.
I know. What do you think, James? Final thoughts.
I agree with Gabe. I'm just excited that it's here. I wish all these guys good luck, and wherever the chips land, I hope we can all be civil in our discussion post the show.
Yep. Roy?
I'll keep it short and snappy. I'm looking forward the most to raving the F out in my apartment to Ukraine.
All right, and then Sean.
I'm just glad we're back. Nature's healing. We're
Yes.
here. We're back.
Here. I cannot wait to pay attention to my favorite people on social media, Twitter, because we get to finally really discuss the show. And I wanted to, because we've seen all the rehearsals so many times, we can finally actually, we can share that with you, and you can let us know how right or wrong we were. Of course, some of them may have improved their performances and we look like fools, but it is definitely a very exciting moment. So yes, so this is our live stream, and we will be back with the post stream where we have everyone on there and we talk about everyone. Enjoy the show, and don't forget to vote for your favorites, and don't forget to subscribe, because you'll be notified when we go live after the show. And then, oh gosh, I didn't want to talk about it. All right, so have fun, everyone. Happy Eurovision, and I see you on the other end.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.